Welcome to TF3 Airport. Is what? 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 They say what we famous for. That's why I'm taking y'all on this verbal tour. First stop, Providence Place Mall, 3 floors of stores to shop for you and yours. Don't have a ride, you can take the Ripper. Anywhere you need to go, the bus will get you. Cranston, Warwick, even Newport, Kennedy Plaza, where you can find the ice court. Y'all know Brown University, famous. J-Dub, PC, you alright? Famous. Students from everywhere come here to go there. The capital's Providence, Dante is in your ear. Home of the Blue Bug, Iggy's and Thayer Street. Full of stores to shop or places you can eat. Near is downtown P-Pack, enjoy a show. The Dunk Water Fires, other things you need to know. Can't forget Fat Hill for real.
Even if you do a blooper, it'll be in the credits.
Yep.
Okay. Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Dante Martin. Welcome to the other side of things. Listen, today's episode, I don't like saying it's the most important, but let's see. If I was to give this an introduction, interesting one, it would be, if you're familiar with your Bible, it was Adam and Eve. That's a different conversation, though. I don't want to go there. But think about it. Adam could not be who he needed to be because God said it's not good for men to be alone until what? He introduced a woman. So that's why I said I believe this conversation is very important, because we got our first lady guest. And we're going to let her introduce herself to you. Here you go. The camera's yours.
Hi, my name is Nikki Johnston, and I'm a magician.
You're a magician?
I'm a magician.
Like, you like, poof.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Make something appear right now. Yeah.
So I'm a magician of the body and all things health and
Nice.
wellness. Yes.
That was awesome. Hold up. Continue on. I got to hear this.
So I've been doing this for a long time. I'm a certified personal trainer. I've been training for over 20 years now. And I'm also a registered nurse since 2014. But the crux of my business is getting to know people, getting to know how their bodies work, getting to know what they eat, getting to know how they do things in their life. And I formulate their plans based on those factors.
For the slow people that didn't catch that, could you explain formulate?
Absolutely. So,
I don't mean to call y'all slow. I mean slow like it. She might be going too fast, or like, slow it down. I just dissed you.
Right. So, as I said, I've been training for a long time, and for the last maybe 10 years, a lot of my clients have been interacting with me online. So I did the personal training in-person gig, and then when I moved back to Rhode Island in 2017, I decided to take my business all online. And with that...
Oh, it's me.
We knew that. This guy.
That was my alarm, my bad.
I figured. Is everybody's phones all silent?
Okay. Is mine all the way down too? All right, where do we go?
This guy. So rudely interrupted. Which is good though, because again, this is television, so you could make all kinds of editing, funny bloopers and all this other stuff. So you was basically saying that how you deal with clients.
Correct. So I guess I can start with the process of what I do. And that basically entails getting information from someone who has a goal. So say you're coming to me and you have a need to get off blood pressure medication, or you have an event you want to get ready for, something that's calling to you to make a change.
Right.
And I get all your information. I find out who you are, what you've done in the past, what your health history is, what your exercise history is, and I break everything down and come up with a plan that's going to best suit your needs. It's hard because it's not a one-stop shop. It's not a, pay $99 and here's this generic plan. I'm very much a hand-holding person. And with that, I get to know my clients really well. And it allows me to go with the ebb and flow of their lives so that I can say, all right, you're going through something right now, let's talk about it. And so we get that mental aspect involved, emotional aspect. So I'm learning about the whole entirety of this person, and I'm learning about who they are, who their children are, who their significant others are, who their friends are. So for example, like, if you have a social life and you're trying to meet a goal and you're going out with your friends and they're like, oh, just have a drink, it's okay. Just have one bite. It can be traumatizing because you're like, no, I'm telling you, this is my goal, this is what I'm trying to do. And I need your support. And so I can only be that support from online or a phone call or a Zoom call. But it's getting these people more confident in themselves to say, I can do this. I can go to a family party. I don't have to drink. I don't have to do X, Y, Z. Because you have to remember it's what's outside of you that is the problem.
So progesterone is such a vital hormone for women that it depicts the whole second half of our cycle. If we don't set our bodies up to produce progesterone in the second half of the cycle, you guys, we get all the symptoms, the headaches, the breast tenderness, the dryness, the attitude, the heavier bleeding. All of those things are symptoms of a depressed progesterone production. And even when you're not in perimenopause, you can still affect it at any age. But with us, our hormones are undulating to the point where they're chaotic. And so they may be in range, but I think the key thing is to put pressure on the doctor, is to say, look, this is what I was last year, this is what I am this year. There's a significant change within my body, and even though I'm in range, it's still a big enough difference, I'm hoping. I mean, your symptoms are telling us all these things. I can't imagine.
Yeah, I agree with that. And the thing is based on my cycle, I should have been in my luteal.
Like, when someone comes at you with something, they're going to say it's their internal issue. Right. So if you're with people that don't want to change, that don't want to get better for themselves, it comes out, it projects onto you. And it's just, it goes in all sorts of directions. And again, I have my people check in every week. So just for the data points, they check in with weight, they check in with pictures, I assess everything, and then I ask them how their week is. So each and every week I'm talking to these people, sometimes 15, 20 times, to ensure that they are reaching their goals at whatever point that they reach them. So for example, if you had an event coming up that you had to prepare for, we have a block of time. Okay, we have this much time to get you ready for. Or I have people that want to just change their life. They want to get off medications. They want to lose weight. They want to be around for their grandchildren or their children. We just get to explore all facets of their life. And sometimes they end up competing, which is kind of like the most awesome reward at the end of their accomplishments. They get to grace the stage and compete in a bodybuilding competition. So it's so intertwined with so many different things that, I use, my background. I went to West Virginia University. I went to college for exercise physiology. So I got my undergrad and master's in that. I was going to go to nursing school, but that didn't happen until later. So I ended up going to nursing school. So all of my experience from college athletics to my education to dealing with other people and my competition and having my own child has brought all these things into just helping people get them to a better spot and being healthier.
You done?
I'm done.
Holy.
I think.
You see?
I got a lot more, but
I know we do. Holy, yo, listen.
We'll stop there, and then you can.
This is probably gonna be the most rewind episode ever. Because I'm like.
So we can break it down however you want.
Where do we begin? Okay, so we're gonna get to that. Cause remember, she's gonna introduce herself and everything. Lovely job. Oh my, I'm like. And here's where we end the show. No, you said so much, and I like the fact that you spoke on it. So this is basically, I'm just the mediator for you and the camera and the audience that's going to be watching you. So I'm going to, because I know they just like, because you're going to have the guys looking at you, she's taking people, leave her alone. You're going to have the guys looking at you like, oh. You're going to have the women like, what did she just say? So we're going to bring it back for you. All right. She's basically saying she's qualified. So the first question I'm going to ask you is this. What made you want to pursue this career?
That's a great question.
Thank you. I'm good at that.
Well, it didn't start off this way. I recall going all the way back to grade school that I wanted to be a nurse, actually. My grandmother, I think, had studied for a little bit, but it was actually her sister, my great aunt, who became a nurse. And I even have her nurse class ring and everything like that. So I remember writing about it at a very young age. And as time went on, I got involved in sports, and I really settled on playing volleyball. I ended up getting a full ride scholarship to play at West Virginia University, so let's go Mountaineers. And when I went to pick my what I wanted to do, my mom was like, oh, exercise physiology, that looks good. I'm like, sure. Like, for me, college wasn't a big thing. It was important for my family. I was the first one in our immediate family to go. But education, while I did very well, it wasn't important to me. I wanted to play ball. That was what I did. That was who I was, and that was my identity.
Right.
And so I knew that I had to turn it into something at some point. So I wasn't ready to work when I finished my undergrad. And I was like, all right, let me go get my master's. And that was focused in cardiology. And so I got to learn all about the body inside and out. From the physiology aspect, I would do stress tests. I learned about how to treat people with heart disease after having major open heart surgeries. But my heart was still like in athletics.
Right.
And I had two ways to go. I could either go the personal training route, or I could go the hospital route. And so I decided to go to the personal training route. So I went into corporate wellness, which allowed me to also coach volleyball. So my first job was in corporate wellness in West Virginia, and I opened up my own volleyball club at the same time. So I was running a volleyball club, and I was personal training. I was working with athletes. So I was doing everything kind of encompassing in what I had grown up doing. I stayed in West Virginia for a while, and then I actually, let me backtrack a little bit. So I was born here in Rhode Island. I was born in Warwick. And my parents uprooted me, my brother, and my parents. We went to the suburbs of Chicago. So that's where I grew up. And I ended up going back home for a little bit to try to figure out life and what I wanted to do, continue with the personal training route. And then I got remarried and headed out to Maryland. So once I got to Maryland, I realized that I really wanted to get into bodybuilding. Bodybuilding was something that I had been associated with back in college. I just, being an athlete, we eat whatever we want. Like, I was just stuffing my face with food. I was enjoying food and, all the things. I was extremely strong, but I didn't understand the true value of what nutrition meant until I got into bodybuilding. And so I had a couple of classmates who had actually competed, and I just became so enthralled with the process. Like going from 250-pound man to getting on stage at 198 to make weight, and it was just like the transformation process was astounding. And it just boggles my mind that my coaches didn't have the wherewithal to teach us these things, because I couldn't even imagine the athlete that I could have been had I known that at the time. So as I got through, when I got to Maryland, when I got remarried, my ex was into bodybuilding, and I kind of just went from athletics into that. And so we built a really successful business in Columbia, Maryland. So we did in-person training, and then we just realized that people weren't progressing. Like, I can train any day in the gym, and I loved it. You could come in 3 days. Yeah, you gotta bleep that out. Can I swear? I got a dirty mouth. Sorry. It's gonna come out. It's gonna have to. It's just natural. It just comes out. So.
Proceed.
And So we saw that people weren't really changing how they should be changing. And we're like, what are these people doing at home? Oh, you're going home and eating donuts after your session. Okay, that's a problem. We got to fix that. And that's where the online component came into play. We're like, okay, you're going to check in every week. We're going to write you a diet, and you're going to get where you want to go. We're not just going to come in here and get your butt kicked for an hour and then walk out and go and get Wendy's.
Right.
And so we built a business upon that. And then that was so that was in 2010 that we established that business. And basically my business, which is called Athenian Fitness Solutions.
So now the reason why, because we had some people in the background, you got the cheerleaders throwing up cue cards and everything. Like, the reason why I didn't ask what's the name of the business yet is because when somebody's going through the process of their life, you're going to hear so many different names. You want to slow it down and then be like, so what's the business you got going on right now?
Yep.
Like, this is called Beyond Eon Productions. The other side of things. But if I went and talked to you how I got here, I'll be doing the same thing. So first, my mother had me at home.
Right. I'm going way back.
No,
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
This might be his favorite episode. I can see his face like, yummy. So I'm listening. The reason why I'm not stopping you and I'm not asking questions is because I told you, I let people go because I want them to speak their heart. Speak your heart. So I'm listening. That's why I'm so tuned in, and I heard everything you said from Grandma Ring. Mom said you should do this. You actually did it. Because one of the questions was like, how do you combine the two? So it's so much going on in my head. But as you speak it, you're actually clearing it up. And I'm glad you're just in a flow. And I want you to continue to be in a flow because it's easy for a person to say, wait a minute, what did she just say? And rewind. Yeah. Or watch it again. Than me to be interrupting you as you going through and telling the story. Because I was just like, yo, this is a movie. This ain't even a conversation. She's like, this is a script. I'm like, so playing Adriana is. Yeah. But I should have caught the volleyball thing because there was a kid I was mentoring. He's a grown man now. And his cousin, built the same way. She was into volleyball too. And I was like, I should have caught that. I was like, did she play basketball or volleyball or something?
I tried basketball. I can do some 3-point shots, but that's about it. That's when the white side of me comes out.
I was gonna say the white Larry Bird.
I can do the 3 points, but nothing else.
Right.
But yeah, I didn't want to really say what my business was because I didn't think it was as important as how I got up to that point. Because my business had to change because I got divorced. My business name changed, but not what I did. Right. So I just took everything from what I'd learned up to that point and had to come up with another business. So Athenian Fitness Solutions is the actual name of the company if you to look it up. But I didn't know what I wanted to make of it. So I decided that would be like an overarching name. And then what I actually run my business as is Athena Warrior Training. Yes. So I figured the solutions part kind of like go off into different things as I progress in what I do. I don't know what kind of other things I'll delve into, but I like the Athena Warrior Training just because of what Athena represents. I mean, she's a god of war, a god of creativity, god of all things and knowledge, and actually I played her when I was in grade school. So it all came around from like those moments where I'm talking about nursing and
Athena is the mythology god,
yes,
correct?
Greek mythology
people like,
war.
Who's Athena?
Yeah, Greek mythology, yep. And so I've been running this business since January 2020. And, again, it was just ebb and flow from the previous thing that I was doing. However, what has definitely changed is me. So now that I'm in my 40s, and this will speak to a lot of women, as we get into our 40s, things really change. Our bodies change, our minds change, our hormones change, and we go through a lot of transformational and learning how to advocate for ourselves. We're in a male-dominant world of medicine, which is fine. I think across the board, medicine is not keeping up with the times because they're so busy, so inundated.
So let me pause you right there. Yeah. And it's a good pause, people, because what you were saying, here's a question. So in research, because I have a therapeutic background, sociology, psychology, and all that stuff. So we had this conversation before. In this day and time, because we have to put things in this proper perspective, women, there was a time when a man took care of the responsibilities when a woman was just home nurturing, right?
Yes.
Then women came out the home, and then they started taking on some of the responsibilities, right? So here's my question. Into the changes of that, do you think the responsibilities that women are taking on is causing the situation?
Yeah. It's a double-edged sword. Like, we want our freedom. We want the ability to be on even playing field with men, but we're different beings. It's not that we can't. It's just that biologically, genetically speaking, we have our part, and that's to take care of the home, that's to raise children, that's to procreate, to keep our everything moving forward, right? And so over time, we've come out of our shell. Well, one, because, you know, at one point moving forward, there were, you know, many restrictions on us as, you know, we became, you know, realized that, you know, we can do the same thing they can do. But it has its toll on millennia of past of changing the genetic makeup. So it's when we're supposed to be at a point where we're supposed to still be raising children and having children, there's that flow of our cycles. So if you know, before you're girls and then you become women, you have this age of being a mom, and then you have the age of being the grandma. So that we're always taking care of people. So it's always stepping down. So then we become the wise old women who have gained all this knowledge. Our ears are open, right? So we're listening to everything that's going on around us silently, and then we're passing those things down to our children. But now it's like we've been thwarted into this society of craziness, and it's a good thing because it's given more opportunities for women to do whatever it is that they want to do, but it has its price at the same time. And so we're seeing, you know, not only is our systems getting worse as far as soil is concerned, we're not getting the nutrients out of the food that we used to get. Girls are going through puberty so much earlier. Women are going through this, it's called perimenopause. So that's the point at when our cycles start to change, our hormones start to change, kind of go a little crazy. So if you're wondering why, you know, your partner is, you know, going kind of nuts before they get their periods, that's what's going on. Our hormones are on a 28-day cycle. So we're like a roller coaster ride, and you all are just, literally, this is your...
Pause. Rewind, men that are married or in a relationship, so you can really understand. Like, yo, you act like a...
Yeah. And I've been there, and because I work out, because I eat well, because of all these things, I don't deal with it to some level as some other people do. But I think it is important for the men to understand their partners and what they're going through. Like, oh, a couple of days before, okay, let me leave her alone, or she needs a hug, or it just will enrich the relationship so much, because I've been at a point where I'm like, I am being such an and I know I am, and I know I'm acting this way, but I can't help it, because you're literally like outside of yourself, watching yourself acting a certain way, and you can't stop it because your hormones are in a certain part of the cycle.
So since you brought that up, so right here, give people the best way. Well, men, we're talking to you right now. Give men the best way to compliment their friend.
Understand where they're at in their menstrual cycle. So know when they get their period. So basically, in short, the moment you get your period, the day you bleed, is day 1 of your cycle. And most women run 21 to 28 days. Okay, so you're going to have a period, you know, right in the middle.
What happens if there's women that don't get their periods because of the medication they're taking or whatever?
That's really hard. And I work with a lot of women that are on birth control. So they're on a fixed schedule, and you can still do it as well.
Okay.
And so if you have, say you're on a pill pack, right? Most pill packs are 21 days, and then you have the iron pills, right? So we lose a lot of iron because we bleed. So those 7 days don't have anything but iron in them. So if your partner does have birth control and she has a set amount of pills, it's the same thing. So her hormones should still go that flow of a natural cycle. So halfway through, there's a little blip there. when you ovulate, which is when you can, conceive, is when you get like that little hit of, I need some love, I need some care, I need to slow down for a few days. And then it's a woman of like, I'm strong, I'm I can get through this, and then we crash towards the end, so that last week, so the 21 to 26 days. And so guys, it's important, if you know these things, you can know when to step away, you know when to give an extra hug, you know when to, so if we're in a way at the end and you come at us with something, well, you're going to get the result of either a fight or a breakdown or a it's not going to be pretty. And I think if that men just got a little bit of knowledge on that, I think relationships would go so much smoother. So much smoother, yeah. And that's what I teach too. And what's really cool about working with some of the people I work with is because I become a household name. And even the kids will be like, oh, did Nikki say you could eat that? Did Nikki say you could do that? And it just becomes a fun thing when the kids are involved because they learn, and partners the whole family ends up getting healthier because they start to see, oh, mom is feeling better. She's got more energy. She's doing more stuff with us. Or same thing with dad. Dad's like, you can see his belly's going away. He's playing outside with us.
He went from homework to
yeah, exactly. And so people come, some people have drinking problems, some people have binge disorders. I get the gamut of people. And then I have hyper elite athletes who want to get on stage. I've gotten people their pro bodybuilding cards. So I run the gamut of who I work with, but I think for now, like where my heart goes to is women of my age who, I'm right in the thick of it and I'm experiencing it with them. It's just like a group of women and we're all going through it and, but I have the education, the research and all the background to help them get through it and guide them. And it's all about accountability. They're super strong and they encourage me at the same time. And so we kind of play off of each other to be better people. Like that's how I feel. I want to better the people around me, and then that spreads outward. Because I think that's how we all should view the world. I'm not going to go and be president. I'm not going to go and change what's out there. But if I can change what's here, then that hopefully moves outward.
That's why you're saying that this is what the show is all about. So let me catch her back up again. So I'm going to take the pieces she said, here pieces, and all this. Okay. Because I know y'all like, what do this got to do with what she talking about? Everything. So, ladies and gentlemen, as a woman, she's telling you as she been a bodybuilder, a nurse, and she actually helps a lot of people with their personal development when it comes to their fitness. All these things plays a part in just building up your mental, spiritual, as well as your physical. Because a lot of people don't understand, before you see the physicality break down, you already broke down. If you're not into a person that believes in spirituality, it's still energy and influence.
Right.
People gotta understand, because it's the influence of things, because you are influenced to eat the foods that you should not be eating, right, which breaks you down mentally, to physically it breaks you down. See, even though I don't do this stuff, I do this stuff. This is what I do. But so I know one of the questions people want to know is, without me necessarily sitting down with you, what are the advice that you would give that I could use now that could work for me and get me into a starting point? Then maybe eventually, as I see the progression, then I may want to actually come into you.
Yeah, great. I would say, number one, move more. And it can be as simple as walking. That's it. I know it's tough right now with the weather, but even if you can get outside, park a little bit farther away in the parking lot, wherever, if you're going shopping or whatever, take the stairs when you can. Walking is paramount to so many functions, especially walking downstairs. All right, as we get older, we have to worry about falls, we have to worry about muscle and strength, and walking on uneven planes is so important. So first and foremost, walk more, move your body more, get up. If you have a sit-down job, set an alarm every hour, get up, go get water. Just walk, get water, come back. And even that, it helps reset your mind to focus for the next hour. Okay, so we're work, and unfortunately, it's causing us to.
Is that bothering you, Keith?
I'm not here. Stop talking.
No, but I heard that and I see your face.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So yeah, the more we sit, the less we move, the more stagnant we get, and it creates havoc on our systems. Our posture goes bad. I mean, we can go on and on and on. So that's number one. Move more. Number two.
Keep on moving. Don't stop.
Yes.
Soul to soul.
So if you need a number, get a watch that tracks steps. I think that is a great way to start. There's some great companies on Amazon. You can get one for like $50. All right. Sometimes it's hard because you can have an app on your phone to track, but you don't always want your phone with you. So if you can get a watch that starts tracking some steps, see where you're at, and then kind of level up every week. So progress. Like, all right, my average say is 5,000. Okay, the next week let's go for 5,100, and just make small incremental changes over time until you're moving more. That's physical activity. No need to go to a gym. No need to get a weight set at home. If you're starting from zero, just move more. If we're talking about nutrition, get rid of processed food. Yeah, you have to. Get rid of the mac and cheese, get rid of the box meals. Take out a crock pot, throw some meat in there, have a nice side of, like potato or sweet potato, rice and a vegetable.
Is there any type of rice, like brown, white, or it doesn't matter?
So that's up for debate. I don't think brown rice is good.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know if we want to delve into that.
You just hurt my dreams.
I know.
That's all I eat.
White rice is, in my experience, from what I dealt with, is actually better.
Hold on.
Yeah.
I'm brown, and I do a body good.
And the white rice will do a body good too. Because fiber's harsh on our systems, and that's a grain that's very hard to break down. So brown rice, it keeps the capsule outside. That's why it's still brown, because it has its outer capsule. But when it's going through your system, your body has to attack it and break it down, and it's just coarse fiber that's going through your system, and it can cause a lot of discomfort and bloating. And so when you're looking at, say, a jasmine rice, something that's not processed, jasmine or basmati are good examples. They're just a short grain rice, and they break down easily in the body. You absorb the nutrients, it goes where it needs to go, and it comes out. And
So Dave, are we still wrapping it up, or we can keep going? All right. Listen, why don't you just turn my mic down some? Keep this.
Someone's getting excited.
No, I'm not asking you a question. I know I got inside voice. So the reason why I'm not asking you a question right now